Alrighty, and welcome back to the Metal Gear Solid 2 Very Easy PC Tournament, presented by MGS2. So the next matchup we have is the number 9 seed MetalGlennSolid versus the number 8 seed Tino HG. Another matchup of old school versus new school to a degree. Glenn is the newer runner, and Tino is the old school runner, a la the Mac era, if you will. With me is Apache for comms for the next two races. Again, just an unbelievable performance by you in the previous race, but any initial analysis for this upcoming race?
So no one's seen Tino. Tino was dominant when me and you started running this game, like what, November 2019 or 18 or something? 2018. Tino was like a very dominant player, but I think the most interesting thing about him is just the way he plays. He did things that were very unique from other players, invented damage canceling mines. He's just a cool runner, right? Like Glenn, VE player, he's always done runs, but he's never really, knuckled down and focused on it until recently. He's been putting in some solid practice into the game, got down to a 104. I think Tino, if he plays anything like his best, he can win this. And Glenn, Glenn's going to have to come up to the level we've seen Tino at, right? Like,
absolutely. And I think both of these competitors are ready. We're just awaiting confirmation here. Okay, Tino is ready. And Glennon as well. So we'll be getting going here in a few moments, and we'll see if this can live up to the previous race, and off to go. So a few fun nuggets about each of the competitors. As Apache said, Glenn is newer to the very easy category. He's run it, but he hasn't really buckled down on it until recently. Both of their PBs are actually identical at 104.44, which is quite interesting. And Tino with a lot of old stuff, Glenn with a lot of new stuff. So contrast of old versus new. Glenn has the tools. He can do 5+1 Harrier. Can't do swim glitch, but that's fine. Don't really need it. And he has been pretty consistent in his practice and PB attempts, which is pretty nice. Has some race experience. Generally performs pretty well in those races. His backup strategies are okay. They're not the greatest in the world, but it is serviceable. Any thoughts on what we're about to see?
I think you're just going to see Tino, the way he controls Snake and Raiden is just so different from other players. But since we announced this tournament and Tino signed up for it, we haven't seen him post a run. We haven't seen him stream playing the game.
Yeah, it's a complete unknown. Yeah, no PBs, no videos. Ooh, bad roll by Tino to start with to get up into Deck E, but yeah, it's just an unknown. Like, he could pull out a 103. You don't know. Or he could have a 106. You just don't know.
Yeah.
So,
time will tell, and I think it'll be on the tanker before we really start to see a gap between these two players.
Been with the unit since I
so
was
both
born.
getting a right Olga, but it looks like I think Tino missed a shot. Interesting.
Okay, I take back what I said.
You don't need to first person the second shot. You can third person that. So this is going to be a slower Olga for Tino, it looks like. Glenn's done. So Glenn with the early lead, perfect right side Olga, but Tino not far behind, so not too bad.
It didn't cost him that much in the end. Generally, missing a shot on Olga like that can cost you somewhere up to 10 seconds, but it didn't look like it cost him that much
not at all.
And he got comfortable with the fight quickly. And that, Olga can really get away from you if you don't get comfortable with it. Interesting menu from Glenn doing it there. Neither player going for the David Wildstar either. Animation cancel off the boxes.
Nope.
It's not really a Glenn move, right? Glenn doesn't normally do things like that, right?
And Tino, they just may not know about it. Ooh, and he falls on his back there because he rolled too early. That's unfortunate.
Some tricky movement from him here.
So
Glenn's building up a lead on these.
Yeah, it's tiny stuff early on. So and as we saw in the last race, it can matter.
Yeah.
So Tino doing his USP menu there. Both did him in somewhat unconventional places. So a little bit interesting there. That guard, as I said earlier, you don't need to do anything with him. You can walk past him. Some people trank him. It doesn't matter. And they both tranked him. So not what I would do, but whatever.
I'd say that's an old school player type thing as well. And Glenn, in a lot of ways, is an old school player. I know he's recently started to pick up the new strategies when focusing on this tournament, but I mean, he's played longer than me and you, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's been speedrunning for a few years now. I mean, his bread and butter is MGS1, and he does some other games as well. But he's not new to speedrunning or anything like that. He's just relatively new to this category at a higher level.
Yeah.
And both of them going for more of a safe engine room, so about a second time loss over the most optimal strat.
I feel like Glenn, out of all the people that rose to the challenge of the tournament, and there were a few big surprises, but Glenn's improvement and how much work he put into it, I think for me was the most surprising.
It was for me as well. Early on, he would run the game, just to kind of run it. But he has buckled down. He has learned area. He has learned to solidify his movement, and he's put up a pretty good time in a short period of time. So it's pretty impressive.
Can see more conventional deck twos from these guys.
Yeah, I would think so. And Glenn with the alert, but Trank's the last card, so that's good. No fear of getting kicked there. Tino, exact same thing.
Yeah, his movement meant that he brought the guard out quicker to him, so he didn't have to really change where he was moving. Sometimes you can get it where you trank the guard and he's still kind of in like the crest of the area, and he's harder to shoot, and you run the risk of being kicked by him.
Ooh, and Mac goes prone at the start of, Glenn goes prone at the start of guard rush. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, you may not notice, but at the start of guard rush, you actually start in the crouch position, and you have to physically press X to make Snake stand up. If you forget that, you can end up going fully prone, which is a big time loss.
And that's going to be enough to flip the lead.
Yeah,
very clean by Tino.
Glenn.
That's just still very early.
These things matter.
They do matter, but I think both of them are going to go for ladder glitch. I know Tino will, and then Glenn has learned it as of late, so it should be fine.
One punch as well. I find it fascinating that people do one punch strats.
Yeah, I can rarely do that. Oh, and Glenn missed it. Ooh,
that's really
so
good.
That's going to be a pretty big time loss. Still better than a continue.
Climbing down the ladder of shame.
Yep.
It'll feel every step of that.
Yeah, that's going to lose about 12 seconds, so that's very unfortunate. Tino with the hold-up strat in deck 2, opting not to do the domino roll. That saves about a half second. We'll see if Glenn goes for it. He tends to go for it. And he will.
I can see him doing that. Taking the safer approach to line yourself up better for the roll makes it about the same speed as the hold-up strat.
Yeah, if you go around the box the other way, that's what really gives you the time save.
Perfect 2-spot from Tino. And I think Glenn goes for 3-spot.
Yep. Glenn opting for 3. Okay, clean photos from Tino. He is out of tanker, and we'll see if Glenn's are good. They should be.
Yeah, they look fine to me. It's nice to see Tino running the game again, right? Like, feels like an old friend has come back.
For sure, yeah. We really haven't seen him the last couple years running this game. Kind of similar to Mac, because they were kind of like buddies in this game. They were going back and forth for quite a while in 2017 and 2018. And then as soon as runners like us came onto the scene, they just kind of went away, unfortunately. But it's good to see them around.
I think Glenn's practice play will be enough to get him back into this race.
Yeah, it's still early. I mean, it's anything can happen, as we've seen so far today. So, just because Glenn has had some issues early on, that doesn't mean anything right now. So here in the lovely docks once again, just waiting for that elevator to come down. Not much to do.
So far, we've seen pretty much everyone do something different in this area. Like, everyone's done a slight variation on how to handle this area.
Tino just trying to wake the guard up earlier. And Glenn might do the caution strat. We'll see. And Tino's just going to kill this guard. little bit of an old strat, but it really doesn't matter.
Yep. I mean, the only thing that does matter is standing up in the elevator. When you get into the elevator, if you stood up, you hit the load zone a little bit, slightly quicker. There's basically nothing in it, but that's the only kind of optimization you can do in here for speed.
Yeah, it saves about a quarter second because your head hits the load zone just a touch quicker, which similarly happens in MGS1 in the docks elevator as well, and that's where we got the idea from. And both of them stood up, so congrats, you've saved a quarter of a second.
And just touching the codec there so you can get it as early as possible. So basically the strat is to get the codec as early as possible, you want to get it on frame 1.
A bit of a rough cartwheel there, unfortunately.
I wonder if Tino will do the M9 trick.
I don't think he's set up for it. So he very well may not know about that yet.
Yep, no M9.
So just the old school strat, just cartwheel into the guard. Not a big deal. It saves a menu later on. Once you get to Stillman, you can just quick equip to your M9 and then just go to coolant. Saves one menu. It's about a third of a second. And Glenn doing the same old school strat as well, so not too bad.
He's got a new school brain, but an old school heart.
Exactly.
I'm interested to see what strats they'll use on the different bosses. I'm certainly interested to see whether or not they've got that new fortune down. I don't think Mac did it right, but I had quite a slow one regardless. But if Tino's been in the chat, he'll get the gist of what to do, and he's the kind of person who could pick it up just by seeing it once.
Yeah, Mac picked up a little bit of time on Fortune against you, so I think he did it just about right. I think Tino will be fine. Glenn could opt for the safe approach. I'm more interested with Tino's bomb disposal because he does some pretty wacky stuff, especially on the EF bridge. So we'll see if he does anything special there.
I'm going through my head thinking of what old strats he could be pulling out today. I messed his menu up a little bit there. Yep, no menu trick.
Yep, not too big of a deal.
Oh, Tino's gone back up on the...
Ooh, he just see... Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, and he went to the other side of the hatch, which is going to result in a slow bomb. You have to be on the other side of the hatch to get a fast bomb, so that'll lose 1.25 seconds.
Who's there?
Give Glenn the chance to catch up here. It's looking good so far.
Yep, little stuff.
Yeah. So you don't need to actually trank the guard at all until you've disposed the bomb, because he goes straight to his radio like that. As you're going to leave, you can switch back to your M9 and shoot the guard. It's much faster than dealing with him beforehand.
DE bridge, you just want to... Ooh, Tino got shot, so Trank missed. A couple of suspect cartwheels there, but not the end of the world.
He's hanging on to this lead by a hair at the moment.
Ooh. And a kick by Glenn, unfortunate.
Commentator's curse. Sorry, Glenn.
Yep, whoops.
It's as if I physically kicked him myself.
Right. So the bomb up here can be a little tricky at times.
Yep, I lost a ton of time on it on my run. Went too early for the cartwheel into it. That's fine. That'll get it.
Good range for Tino. Pretty clean. See if Glenn can replicate that.
It's actually such a big room, this. Compared to all the other rooms, if you think about the amount of area you cover, it's a huge room. It's very easy to make mistakes on.
Pretty clean by Glenn as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
Little interesting nugget about this staircase. You can opt to do 1 or 2 cartwheels. It's no faster if you do 1 or 2. As long as you do your only cartwheel at the right time, you'll land right at the bottom of the stair, and it's actually better.
Yeah, if you do 2, you're actually not as cool as if you do 1. We've actually tested it and done frame analysis, and you're 100% cooler.
Oh,
You
Tino
went for the
went for the
Tino damage cancel. He literally invented that.
and he failed. Unfortunately, that is
That's
unfortunate.
heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking.
That's was one of the things that we all became a fan of early on was stuff like that. It was like we want to aspire to be like Tino because
Yeah,
of that stuff.
I remember sending you the clip, like the timestamp, and I was like, "Have you seen this?" And now, obviously, the game's a lot different now. People do all kinds of crazy damage cancels on that bridge.
Glenn
Oh
went
no, Glenn.
down. That is gonna be about a 10-second time loss. That is unfortunate.
Yep.
Oh, that is a tough feeling to swallow. Oh. Tino with a pretty clean FA bridge. But
Tino's looking good. He looks like he's kind of getting more comfortable as the race goes on.
yeah, he's playing smart. He's not trying to go too fast or play out of his mind. So he's playing consistent, which will carry you.
Yeah, the thing about blowing up that Claymore earlier, although he took the hit from it, he'll still be able to run past it later, which will save him like half a second.
Yeah, so he'll gain a little bit of it, that 3 seconds back, but not all of it. So it's still an unfortunate hit. He'll clear up his menus later, but it shouldn't matter all that much.
No, I've never really noticed that Claymore in my inventory.
Yeah, rough cartwheel there by Tino.
Yeah, very.
But still close. It's about a 10-second lead.
Yeah, BMN says that he thinks Glenn's feeling the race pressure. I'm no stranger to that myself.
I mean, he did call the previous race with me, and we were just in complete awe. So, I mean, to come back and then try to follow that up, I mean, that's hard. But it could just be race pressure. I mean, it could be a number of things.
It's easy to say what you should do when you're sat here, but when you're sat and it's just you and the screen, it's a different world.
Yeah, they're both making their fair share of mistakes, but they're playing fairly well for a race.
Yeah, I think so too.
Basically, just a codec difference right now.
Yeah, we've certainly got another close game to go after this.
Yeah, the matchup after this is going to be a dandy for sure. Yeah. I mean, I thought that was going to be the matchup of the night. Let's try that again. I thought that was going to be the best matchup of the night. Thank you, English. But yeah, I don't think anything's going to top the Mac Apache race. Oh man.
But I really like that cartwheel from Glenn. He went a bit early to avoid the danger of the seam crouch. I really hate that cartwheel from Glenn into the center B.
I call that the iridescence because I've seen him do that quite a bit. It looks okay, I guess. I don't even think it looks that cool. But you lose time doing that, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Nerd number time. Will we see a 361 out of one of these people getting into the elevator? You want a 361. You can get a 362, but that is tight IL timing that Platonic guy has the world record for. So.
Yeah, that's a tall order. I think just getting your cartwheel into the load zone in strut B is a big time save in this area.
Mm-hmm.
I like the D-pad here. Glenn's opted to use the analog stick. It seems to have gone okay.
Yep. So 382.95, not bad. Not bad. So I think Tino might be just short of a 361. We'll see. Just barely. So 360.83, that's okay.
Bad last cartwheel. It really was the cartwheel at the end that did it for him.
Yep. Little too wide. You want to take that cartwheel a little sharp, but you don't want to sharpen too much because it can lose you time if you're trying to adjust. You want to be like in the middle like Glenn did. So 361.13, not too bad. So I'm very interested in their fortunes. If we're gonna get new old fortune out of Tino, which I guess Tino and Matt kind of invented to a degree, and then we kind of refined it. Oh, another seam crouch. Ooh.
Yeah, and you know, no one thinks to coolant rise out of it, even though your coolant's on previous, because when it happens, you just start mashing buttons immediately because you can't.
That might be too far away. Ooh, that is. Ooh,
Is he
that's
going in
close
the
to the
drink?
water.
That's
I don't
possible
think he
drink.
will. I don't think he will.
Straw poll, is Glenn getting dunked?
Nope. If you get
He's
in there,
10 too
you're
much
losing.
though, right?
Yeah, you're losing 5 seconds. But Tino has been watching something because he just did the punch buffer, so that's good.
Yeah, he mentioned in the chat earlier that he really likes the punch buffer setup.
Yeah, we used to try to line our butt crack on a line on the floor, and there was someone inconsistent. And Glenn doing the same thing, so... Looks like Tino's going for a more safe approach to Fortune. It is consistent, but it is consistently one of the slower methods.
Yeah, it's faster than doing it normally, but not as fast as making it destroy the boxes. And then doing barrels before the elevator.
Looks like Glenn's going to go for the fast strat, so bait the boxes. That should be a perfect setup.
No, this might be okay, you know, he's actually destroyed all the boxes and the barrel before the elevator came, so he might still get this as well.
The elevator coming for Glenn.
Glenn getting the frame, sorry, Tino getting the frame on codec without even looking at the things being destroyed. That's pretty cool.
Alright, so
ending on the coolant as well, which is an older way of doing it. It doesn't give you like a good menu on Fatman to get your SOCOM.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you definitely want to end on M9 so you get the coolant.
No chaffs for Tino.
Hopefully he knows his backup.
Yeah, the backup is a little tricky and worth learning.
Nice cancel by Glenn. That was fancy.
Yeah, that's the ballerina cancel.
No cartwheel down the stairs. That's slow. Interesting. So an unfortunate unfortunate by Tino getting kicked. Yeah, I think he just missed.
So he's going to have to menu coolant on the bomb and then end on nothing to get his SOCOM for Fatman out.
You don't think he'll do M9? I mean, he only has 5 bullets.
No, I don't think he'll do it, but I think there's a good chance he might menu his SOCOM. Yep.
Yeah, he just did. Yep. There you go. Yep.
You don't actually have to do that as long as you finish the fight on nothing with coolant on previous. You'll start the fight with SOCOM coolant.
Yep. Ooh, a little fall there. He's had a couple of mishaps with cartwheels and getting kicked and stuff.
Yeah, it's death by 1,000 cuts.
Welcome to VE. That is magnified.
Still insanely close though.
Yeah, I mean it's becoming a battle of mistakes. So it's interesting. So there's a little setup for this bomb here where you could get a fast bomb. But you have to be a little closer to do that, and Glenn did not for it either. Slow bomb by Tino to start the Fatman fight, opting for the SOCOM method. Slow bomb by Glenn as well. Pretty good fight by Tino. Fast bomb to end the fight.
Good enough.
Ooh, bad RNG for Glenn. Oh, and he's in a terrible position. Oh, man, that's going to cost a bunch of time. Man.
You hate to see it.
Yeah,
it's so horrible.
That's about a 10-second time loss between all that. He ended on a 32, and Tino ended on a 42, so that is massive. Tino with a pretty sizable lead for the moment, about 30 seconds plus. But doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. By the way, I just realized that Mac were now raced by our god Ames.
Yeah. Yeah,
Curse you, Mac.
that was the beginning of, well, it wasn't the beginning of the comeback because it was still a very close race. It was Harrier that we thought it was over. But
Hey, you win some, you lose somebody. So I'm interested to see both their aims now, and how much of an effect that'll have on the race going forward. I'm actually going to make a note of where both their aims are.
oh, second cartwheel there. Tino did analog there, which I severely disapprove of. Like,
Yeah, it was like a frame from touching the claymore as well. That was so weird.
And I don't think that second cartwheel is worth it.
I wouldn't recommend that AK ammo either, Tino.
Glenn is looking like he used D-pad there, so that's fine.
Yeah, I was a hater of the D-pad on that bridge, but I have had no claymore mishap since using it.
Ooh.
Well, that's not good. Don't let him radio.
You can't get the alert.
Don't get the alert.
Oh no, this could be game-changing. Okay, he's on he has to get out of evasion. This is the only elevator you can't use unless you're on caution or better. Normally you can use elevators on evasion, not this one. This is huge.
Yeah, so
oh, what are you doing? Just wait. Oh my goodness.
So of all the elevators in the game, the guards are going to respawn in if he kills them as well.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to continue. You can't. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I'm watching. Just go to the elevator and wait.
We often talk about is the skill in a run and knowing strategies, which is a huge part of it. But knowing how things go wrong and how things work.
He wants to reset the room. He just got the caution as he left too. Oh man. Well,
so that's the only elevator in the game that requires you to be in caution or normal. Every other elevator will work except in alert, but evasion matters for that one with the camera.
And Glenn got a bad knock, so the guard is coming slowly, so Tino can gain a little bit of time back, but that was an outright disaster.
Yep. Backups, gotta know your backups.
Yeah, I think the nerves are really kicking in for Tino. I can kind of see it in his movement. He very well might be watching.
Yeah.
All right.
And still, Ames is going to be a huge deal here.
Yep, huge. Pretty good southeast. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Did he take the? Yeah, he took it off. Gotta take your BDU off. Oh, did he not?
He did not. Nope, he did not.
If Tino remembers to take his BDU off and he gets God Ames, that'll really help him out.
Yep. It's despite that monumental mistake, it's still up for grabs. Okay, so fast guard for him, so he'll gain about 6 seconds or so. Oh no! Oh my goodness! That's gonna cause an alert, and is that gonna spawn guards? No, he's gonna have to wait for the alert to go away and just hide.
AK back on.
Just equip your AK. Oh my goodness, Tino! What a turn of events! In an unlikely section
so what
of the game.
happened there for you know, you may not quite understand why he pulled out his pistol and started shooting the guard, but essentially your menus when you get into the shell are AK and previous, once you've equipped the AK. So when Tino got the alert downstairs, he switched to the SOCOM, and so when he went to grab the guard, he went from AK to SOCOM and began shooting the guard rather than going AK to nothing and grabbing the guard. And it's very easy to die in VE. Sorry, it's not very easy to die in VE.
No, it's very, very difficult,
very hard.
as you can see. This is an eternity. He's bleeding away. Oh my goodness. That is unfortunate. He should just get up and let the guard shoot him, because that would deal more damage. Man, that's hard to watch. And Glenn on his way to the Harrier fight right now, so it's everything's falling into place for Glenn. unfortunately, for Tino, so...
Yeah, I think the biometrics work in evasion. So what you would do is, yeah, I'm not sure with alert, but
They don't work in alert. They work in, I know they work in evasion.
yeah, I think when you reset the room as well, you can't get the fast guard.
Yeah, because of the
cutscene.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So Glenn's starting his sensors on the Shell 1-2 bridge. Okay. Doesn't blow up the bridge. That's good.
I mean, Glenn really needs to just be patient and ride this
Just,
ride this game
yeah,
out.
just... Oh, God aims. Okay, there's something. Could this be the start of an epic comeback again? Who knows?
I want to see it. I'm here
Oh,
for
my...
it.
I mean, this would be larger than the Mac one, for sure. But hey, you don't know. D-Mike! Ugh. 2, 3. Only 3 shot for Glenn. Okay. Bad menus. Here we go. It's only a 3 shot. That's not going to connect. Here we go. Die shots. Misses a die shot.
Yep, too early.
This is turning out similar to Max Harrier. So this, if Tino has a good Harrier, this could claw some time back.
I'll let you go out in style.
And it is a huge deal. 5+1 is a massive time save. Over this especially.
If you miss 1 shot, you're losing 14 seconds. All this, you're losing 40 plus. Like, this is bad.
Try dodging this. I'll take care of it.
Like, I'm gonna have a heart attack after this tournament if this is the way it's going. Like, oh my goodness.
Shot by the missile as well.
Yep. Should end it
Should
here.
be able to finish the Harrier.
Oh.
Yeah, he should
Oh.
finish it here. Don't let him fly away.
Don't let him fly.
Do not let that Harrier fly
Wow.
away.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay.
That was enough.
Opportunity.
Listen, that was enough for me. So I can't imagine what you were going through last race. That was enough. That was enough for me. I'm having palpitations.
Leap of faith. Okay, that if he would have missed that, it would have been game on. But
We've seen,
Oh
have we
my.
seen one miss leap of faith so far?
I
this
don't
tournament?
believe so. I don't
think it's
recall.
one. Maybe not.
You think
maybe
it's
none.
the only one I don't know about is Bees, if he missed any.
No, I don't think he missed a leap of faith.
Like this
Glenn-
is incredible.
Absolutely commanding lead.
It's shrinking though. I mean, it has the potential to really shrink.
I mean, I can't imagine how Tino's feeling going into this Harrier. But a 5+1 really could put him back in this race.
Glenn has a chaff, so he's just gonna throw a chaff, get the alert, and then shimmy across.
Tino doesn't have chaffs as well. That's the point. Does
I
Tino
wonder
know
if Tino.
Swim Glitch?
I think he does. I think he does. Whether he's been practicing it or not, I'm not entirely sure.
Doing the sensor with no scope. Welcome
Yeah,
to
that's
2018.
that's severe muck ass right there. I don't recommend
Yeah.
that. Please don't do that. All right.
I love it.
let's see.
I love it. It's just like the good old days.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only a 4 shot. Okay, this could still be better. Nope, too early on the +1. So it'll just be a standard 4 shot Harrier.
That was definitely the place to make some time up. I think he skipped the cutscene too quick.
I don't think
If
that's
I'm
gonna
wrong.
hit. Yeah, that one didn't hit because he didn't get the lock on first. So not the greatest in the world. Could still make up a little bit of time, but a little bit of an opportunity squandered away. 1 shot, 2 shot. Okay.
Double damage.
Double damage. That should end it. Yep. Okay. So that's a better
Better.
fight, but it's not ideal. I think if Tino has any chance, he's gonna have to go for Swim Glitch. I still
Yeah.
think the deficit is too large. Okay,
This
good
one
leap of
glitch
faith.
comeback would be extremely interesting.
Oh,
Glenn's
and
missed on Nikita.
Glenn had a little bit of trouble with Nikita, so there's a small window. Now, Tino doesn't have chaff, so let's see what he does.
I'm assuming
think
he'll knock.
I think he'll either knock or he'll get spotted then shoot the cipher, which I saw somebody else do earlier. I think I saw Bees do that
Bees did
earlier.
it.
Yeah, yep. Those are all valid strats. Yep, I think he's going to do that. Exactly. Yep, and then he can just shimmy across. And Glenn just took out the circuit panel and is about to meet the president now. Still a pretty comfortable lead.
Yeah, it's very commanding.
Well, definitely over a minute. Now, since Tino doesn't have the chaffs, he could just opt to get spotted here and just get shot once or twice. We'll see if he opts to take out ciphers instead. Ooh, that's an early spot. Ooh, man.
That's so risky. That is
Yeah,
so risky.
The cipher spotted him a little early because he did the strat where you get spotted then shoot the cipher. So that threw off the alert cycle a little bit. And thus the ciphers were in a different spot than what a non-traditional chaff strat would be. So that was incredibly risky.
Yeah, he opted to get shot first and then go for the jump across. It's your best chance of doing it, but that length of time that you're rolling across, you can still be shot again. So there's, a 50-50 on him dying there.
Yeah, I mean they can shoot you mid cartwheel as we saw in the gentleman year race. So
are you gonna do this all the time, Mac? Is it gonna be like, oh, remember that time in the race with Mac? I see your game.
Hey, I'm giving analysis, okay? I'm just trying to be a good broadcaster, that's all. I'm trying to be fair. So
this is his lines forever now.
Ooh, not a good pickup. He's too high. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, that was again, both of them had trouble on the pickups for the Nikita. Interesting.
I've seen it a few times over the course of the tournament. People having trouble with the Nikita. I think if Tino has any inkling how to do swim glitch, he has to do it.
Yes, there's no question.
And he needs more too.
Glenn can screw up Jejennum, unless Glenn screws up Vamp like 3 times, which could happen. I mean, Glenn can make all sorts of mistakes, and I think it'd still be fine at this point. It's too large of a lead.
I don't think Tino's given up. I don't think.
No. I mean, it ain't over till it's over, but you have to pull out all the stops now. All right, Glenn on Vamp. Let's see what he gets. That's the Nikita. You don't want that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, clean. First try. Spotty on the menus, but first try.
Interesting menu, yeah. But it was good enough.
So Tino just beating the president now. So it's, I think, about a minute and a half gap. And Glenn wisely picking up extra AK ammo for later on. That is almost a must. Almost a must.
Yeah, previously, the old school, this escape with Emma was done with teleportation and an M9 and chaff grenades. Nowadays, we just menu the AK when we get to Emma, and then we use that all the way to for the rest of the game. Don't use any other guns. The AK is too good.
Yep, I like it better than the chaff grenade, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you're slowly, eliminating chaff completely from this run, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, to pick up the ones on the Strut roof is still, it's better optimally, but you only lose about a second or so if you don't pick them up. So it's not the end of the world. It's better than getting hit by the mine.
Yeah.
All right. Tino gonna do it? That's the question. He needs it. He really should do it.
Surely.
If he has any chance. Oh, baby. Here we go. Let's see. Okay.
And I can't. I'm sure it's been said before, but I can't stress how hard this is.
Oh, this is not good. This is not good. 3 cycle. Yeah, I think the Hail Mary is not going to connect, unfortunately, for Tino.
Yep, he's gonna have
Yeah,
to...
this is going to lose him time now, even if he gets it. It's really unfortunate. That was a good rise right there. Like, that's,
such a shame. 4 cycle.
Yeah, that's going to break even at best, if not lose him time. So, and he's going to lose 8 seconds on the way back because he has to open the door. So yeah, it's definitely Glenn's to lose at this point.
He's more than 2 minutes behind.
Good vamp. Good vamp.
Glenn finished vamp at 36.36.
Good eye. Good eye.
HBA came out, so
it's about a 210 lead. It's we have about 8 minutes of auto scrollers essentially coming up, so it's going to be very hard to claw back time at this point. It's going to take something monumental.
It does a lot to your mentality during that auto scroller section as well. When you're thinking about your lead and thinking about how much time you have left and what you have to get right, it does affect your mentality in a big way. It really does pause and let you just reflect on the whole race. So it's kind of like a cruel part of the run, especially if you're 2 minutes behind. Because Dino's thinking, like, he not only has to play perfectly in some areas which are... They're not the hardest areas, but they're very compounding if you get them wrong. And he needs Glenn to essentially fall off the Cheshire 4 times, like, for him to be able to make his time up.
Or soft lock Emma.
Or soft lock Emma. But honestly, if I was Glenn, I wouldn't even push him through the door.
I think he's gonna do it. Oh, he's not. Okay, that is intelligent. That is very intelligent. Even though I would do it. So
I'm the biggest proponent of pushing Emma through that door, but I just wouldn't do it with a 2 minute lead.
No, with this large of a lead, it's not worth it.
Glenn's picking up shafts. He thinks it's 2005.
Yeah, I mean it's safe. I mean,
yeah, incredibly.
When you have a large lead like this, you can play too safe. I mean, this isn't too safe. I mean, this is fine. But you could start to let off a little bit. It's unlikely with somebody of Glenn's caliber, but you do want to be mindful of that.
Yeah, I think judging by what Glenn's just done there, chaff grenade and hand-holding Emma through the door, I don't think he's going to let off at all. I think he's very focused on finishing this race out in the cleanest way possible.
I think he's going to be solid.
Aren't I supposed to make that joke and you supposed to cringe? We had a role reversal here somewhere.
Yeah, it happens. So Glenn opting for M9 in Strut L. Again, safe, consistent, a little slower than AK. That's perfectly fine.
He's paying homage to what came before, so it's about respect for Glenn.
It's like 1967 strats, but that's fine. I wonder if Tino knows about not teleporting Emma.
Surely he does.
I would think he does at this point. If you do the old teleportation strat where you teleport her, it loses 7 seconds. Okay, he does. All right, that's good. I wasn't sure because nobody knows what he's been doing.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't have been surprising if he did that.
No. I'm glad he didn't, though. So Glenn has made his way to sniping our first auto-scroller. About 4.5 minutes, not doing much. The only real variance is menus and if Emma falls or not.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Glenn fall Emma, but he is zooming a lot.
Yeah,
I want to zoom ever.
If you stand on where the thermal goggles spawn and you don't zoom, you have a very good chance that Emma doesn't fall, but it still can happen. And Tino does the Emma bump successfully, so that's a couple seconds gain back since Glenn didn't do it.
Yeah, we'll gain a couple of seconds for not using the chaff on the bridge here as well.
Ooh, Glenn didn't shoot guards, so Emma got spotted.
Yeah, as soon as you get the codec call in very easy, you need to be looking at the first strut that she's headed to. That's when the guards will come in.
That's one way to lose time, but it's still not a significant amount, at least as of yet. I don't like the zooming that Glenn is doing. I mean, you can make Emma fall multiple times. That's even more rare, but we'll see. And then Tina with the safety strat as well with the M9, safe, consistent, and having trouble trying to get Emma. So lost a couple seconds there.
Yeah, it's a little hard to work with because you have to slide the barrel between each shot.
And then the slide locks.
It's not good. Platonic guy says it's not over.
No, I mean, after what happened before, it ain't over till it's over. I mean, I'm a big believer in that. It's still going to be very difficult, but anything can happen.
Yeah. At least it's a nice day out.
Yeah. Such a beautiful sunset.
We haven't seen anyone rinse all the birds either with the sniper rifle yet. You tend to see that everyone's just too focused.
Yeah, I don't like to do that. Glenn did kill one. I did see him kill one. So I think that's the first bird killed of the day. So rip birdie. And Glenn shooting the 2 guards, so that'll be it for guards. We'll just have to shoot 2 more ciphers, and he'll be fine. So Tino did the first pillar on sniping correctly, so he'll gain a little bit of time back. But it's still a pretty significant margin at this point.
My stream's just gone off. I'm just put it back on. There we go.
No worries. I mean, if there's any time for it to go off, it's this section. So just enjoy the music and the birds and the good temperatures and good vibes, and sit back and relax. Take a deep breath after all this exciting VE action.
Yeah, it's such a nice day. I hope no major characters get killed in the next few minutes.
Right. That would be a shame. So Glenn on the final section of the sniping section. 1 more cipher to shoot, and he'll get ready for his vamp fight. So it's about a full section, which is roughly 1.5 minutes per section on the oil fence. We'll see if Glenn goes for the no zoom strat. Tap left once, either with D-pad, analog, or keyboard if you wish, and then just lay into vamp, or if he's gonna do the safer strat and zoom.
Yeah, I think I have a real problem with this area because any input on my D-pad or analog stick or keyboard is just slightly too much. It goes across the whole of vamp.
I mean, Glenn moved a little bit too much, but yeah, he recovered nicely. Yeah, that was good. But yeah, the keyboard thing can be a little tricky depending on the keyboard that you have, and D-pad can be a little touchy for the no zoom.
This is a really costly area. It's a very easy to get area to get right, but if you fail at any point during the time left section, it's going to put you all the way back at the bottom of those stairs. So this is just on par with shooting the sensors, getting a game over in hold one. Really costly area. Every runner has got a game over here at some point. Everyone who's run this category has managed to kill himself in this area at some point.
And Glenn's going to be fine, so
Yep.
no worries there. Bad cartwheel, but that's okay.
Yep, Tino's going to need a few more of them from Glenn.
So Glenn has entered Arsenal gear. Tino still a little bit of ways from his vamp fight. Still has one more cipher to shoot.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but it's just a whole section of the game that's very static. Even after the sniping, you have this section, and then you have the ascending colon, where you can't really do anything to get any time back.
But you can lose time if you're standing in the right spot.
Oh, for sure. And it just makes you, it just gives you a lot of time to think. And, you know, you can see runners go into that ascending colon and come out different.
And then you have the pre-ray speech as well. 90 seconds of pure nothing there. So a lot of auto-scrollers to end the game. And on very easy, there's just not a lot of opportunity to gain time back. But there's a ton of time, or a ton of ways to lose time.
Olga, you can't.
Tino with not
Tino.
good.
Rough.
Yeah, he tried to do no zoom, but he tried to overcorrect, and he overcorrected again. Not a good one at all. So one of the toughest rooms in the game coming up for Glenn Jagenum, as we saw in the last race. It can lose you time quite a bit if you're not careful.
It's a wonderful thing that we're having this tournament, but it does make me think that it's not so different from our regular Friday night sat watching.
Tino doesn't have AK ammo.
Yeah.
He has to SOCOM everything.
SOCOM backup's fine. That cipher's really hard to hit with it. Yeah. You fell into my trap.
You better take this out. Okay, he should be good. I don't think any more spawn on BE. Well, good awareness before he got to the bridge.
Yeah,
otherwise, that would have been. And Glenn just has gotten through to Jagenum, no problem, as we were paying attention to Tino, just like it's nothing. No big deal.
Clean as a whistle. No alert.
Nope. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, you don't want to be too far north in the ascending colon for the first part, otherwise you'll get unlimited phone calls. Codec calls. Same with going south. You have to be in this, like...
He's not playing the codex.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, Glenn.
That is...
I never expected
wow.
Glenn to BM. I've never ever seen Glenn BM. He doesn't seem like the type.
Wow. That is some... hardcore swag right there, and I'm sure the viewers appreciate that. But that was incredible. Oh my goodness! But
I mean, he has to have this much of a lead to do something like that.
Yeah, like he's watching 100%. But as I was saying, if you're too far north or too far south, you'll just keep getting codec calls, and you won't be able to progress. You have to stand in a particular area in order to progress. And same thing here. You have to be north of where you spawn after you swipe the blade once to start a 45-second timer. So definitely opportunities to lose time here, but unlikely.
So I was watching the stream during mine and Mac's race, and I noticed Mac made Snake chase him up to the top, and Snake was positioned ahead of him, and I thought, does that affect this area ending? I sure hope it does.
So if the 45-second timer expires and Snake is still chasing you, it keeps going. He has to attempt to hit you in order for the cutscene to progress.
Yeah.
Even if you're north. So you don't want to mess with him too late. Tino coming up to his gap of shame here. We'll see. Ooh. Little freeze on the feed here, but okay, they made it over the gap.
That's the most important thing. It really doesn't matter if you get the alert. Obviously, it's not ideal, and some of these cartwheels have been less than perfect. Oh, Glenn missing Tengu one skip, and he's got the guard in the way of the door, which means he has to. Oh no, he can get a space there. Got to do it with the SOCOM.
Yep.
So it's allowed Tino to claw a bit of time back here.
Still a pretty good margin.
You don't want to be the guy who swags and then loses it. You really don't.
No, you don't. We're a little slow getting a stinger going for Glenn, so he hasn't hit many guards yet. Yeah, Tengu 2 can have variance depending on how you're shooting, when you're shooting, how many guards Snake hits. It can have... I've seen a 25-second variance in Tengu 2, so...
Yeah, mine was 1 minute and 5. My Tengu 2 was 1 minute and 5, and you can have it as low as 48 seconds. So it's a big deal. It's a room that you want to get correct, and you want to do the best you can to kill. You want to do the best you can to kill as many guards as possible. But Snake can get knocked down. Snake can stand in the way of you. The guards can come out in awkward spawns, so they can come out together. So one will always get down the middle, which is slower. There's so much variance to it. It is a horrible room, really. The more we've looked into it, the more we've been upset by it.
Yeah, if you get somewhere in the 50-second range, like 50, 53, that's a good Tengu 2 in a situation like this.
Sub 55.
Yeah, the record's 47 as of right now by Platonic Guy, so shout-outs to him. And Tino coming up to his Tengu 1. Got shot just once, that's pretty standard. See if he can get the door glitch first try.
That would give him a bit of
time.
Ooh,
and he gets kicked there. That's unfortunate. Nope. And he's okay. Second try. Maybe. Nope, he's got a guard there. So he's having trouble as well. Alright, third. Let's call it 3rd and a half try. So.
Yeah, the knockdown is really rough there.
Yeah,
you have to be aligned with the door. And you also have to be facing fully away from it. If you're at an angle, that will mess up the glitch.
Yeah, the SOCOM makes it easier because it's a different kick animation. From multiple runners' experience, doing it with the SOCOM just makes the glitch easier. Okay, raised by Glenn. 1, 2, go back. Leg head. Perfect.
Are you awake yet,
so I think barring collapse at this point, this is Glenn.
Yep. We've had a few guards drop down on this Tengu 2. It kind of doesn't matter until after the first fish and mailed. That really seems to have a lot of effect on the time. But his stinger position's bad.
Yeah, it needs to be a little bit lower.
Oh, he's getting the guard glitch where he runs back.
Oh,
that's so rare.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, he's shooting a little too late, and this position just wasn't good.
It's out though. It seemed faster than Glenn's. It really did.
Yeah, it's just rust and lack of experience as of late, really. All right, coming up on Solidus for Glenn. See if he can bring this home. It was definitely pretty dicey early for Glenn, for sure, but it's really just Shell 1 that cost Tino. I mean, outside of everything else, it wouldn't have mattered. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, it was so costly, right? Both floors were just so costly.
B1 especially, just because it took so long for him to take the continue. Ooh, and Glenn opting for the stab, which is faster, just a little more risky. Very nice. it might be too close. He
Yeah, he's
was,
too close,
yeah.
he's too close. Got
Okay,
blocked,
not,
yeah, he knew to block.
yeah, not the end of the world. So lose a few seconds, but not too bad. But a long dash.
He knew he wasn't going to get it, so he just stood still.
Yeah, that's smart. Very smart.
Because now you want to be the furthest away from him if you're not going to get it.
All right, good RNG.
Let's go.
See how he ends the fight here.
Stab and cartwheel. Ah.
And that is time for Glenn. Moving on.
Very well done from Glenn there.
Do you remember this place?
He knew what he
58.
had to do, right? Like, he knew what he had to do.
This is where we first
Yeah,
met.
he knew little
I remember
nuances and
now.
backups for that fight. So 58-36 by Glenn, pretty respectable time. But he'll be moving on to the quarterfinals.
See Tino finish it out and see Solidus.
I think I found something to pass
It's
along
not
to
him
the
I want the answers from.
He said all living things want their genes to live on.
Are you talking about the baby?
Yeah. The genes aren't the
Yeah, that was
only
definitely a very
thing.
interesting race, especially with the unknown factor of Tino.
It's up to us to teach
Yeah, I
them
mean, I
so
think
the
if it wasn't for those
What kind
real
of
costly
rules?
mistakes,
about the environment, our ideas,
he
our
could have,
culture.
it would have been a lot closer. It would
I
have
re-
been way closer.
Yeah, I really think
Joy.
take away the other
We'll tell them
floors. I think you
everything
take
together.
B1 away, and that's clean because it took so long to die.
This is for
I
you
think
and
this would be an
yours.
even race. I think it, just that one room.
Yeah, and
Let
that's
alone
the
the
thing
other
in a
couple.
race. You've got to know your backups.
Yep, that's critical. Be too close there, and he was. Yep. Yeah, just a rough Solidus here. Ooh, he goes away again. Oh man. Yeah, I think this is just maybe frustration, lack of practice at this point, just trying to finish it out.
I stare at the stars and the sky up above and think what
But nonetheless, it was good to see Tino back in the realm playing this game. It's been, I've never actually seen him play it live like this. He did come back and beat one of my world records at the time, but he didn't do that live. It was a treat to see him live and see him around at least, and that's time for Tino. So another seed upset, tiny upset, 8-9 2-jet coin flip, but two lower seeds moving on so far. So definitely good stuff so far.
Very, very nice. What about the next game, though?
Next match, you guys are in for a treat, and we will get to that in a little bit.